So to start off, you will see this page of many flags of many countries. And I want to show you this because it helps to explain, how I started in Singapore and how I ended up in Switzerland.
ここに出てる国旗というのがケネスさんが、移動してきた経路のようなものなんですけれども、シンガポールからスタートして今スイスにいるこの経緯を、説明していきます。
So right now I am the senior manager at EU Business School responsible for Asia Pacific. But I grew up in Singapore, someone who was very interested in sports, very interested in technology also. So I was born and raised in Singapore for the first 18 years of my life.
シンガポールで生まれ育ちましたと。で、ちょっと待ってくださいね。ちょっと今、ロストイントランスレーションになってます。そうですね。最初、そうですね。テクノロジーにすごい興味があってっていうことから、彼のキャリアはスタートしています。
Yeah, so because of my very keen interest in technology, I went to Australia, my first destination, to study my bachelor degree in electrical engineering in Sydney, University of New South Wales.
ニューサウスウェールズ大学、シドニーにあるニューサウスウェールズ大学で、この、テクノロジーについてしっかりと学ぶために、まずは1回目の留学、移動をしてました。
So I had a great time in Australia learning, and after I graduated, I worked as a research engineer for projects related to the car companies in Europe as well as the US military in the US, in the United States. So I was based in Singapore, but I worked for projects on these companies, US military as well as the car makers in Europe.
そうですね。So how many years ago?
This was I graduated in 2002. So between 2002 and 2000, yes, between 2002 and 2005, I worked as a research engineer doing these types of projects.
今ね、コロナでリモートって当たり前になってきたような気がしてますけども、ケネスさんはもう2002年から2005年の時点で、すでにこういった海外のプロジェクトとかをやったりしてて、アメリカですとか、アメリカの US military.
Yes. So, but all the while since I was a kid, I dreamed about working in sports, in international sport. Even though I was a good player, but I was not professional, but I always dreamed to work in sport. So the chance came when I got into the FIFA Master Program. It's a master program by FIFA. Each year they have a class to train sports managers. So when I got into this program, I quit my job to start this program in 2005.
2005年にもともとテクノロジーにずっと興味があってその仕事につけたんですけれども、実はスポーツがすごく好きで、プレイヤーとしても頑張ってたんですけどプロにはなれなかったと。でその、夢を、社会人になってスポーツに関わるっていうことを叶えるために、FIFA の MBA のコースに進学しました。2005年に仕事を辞めて進学しましたということですね。
So I was very excited to get in. I quit my job, I packed my bags, and I came to Europe.
そうですね。仕事を辞めて、新しい挑戦をするということにワクワクしながら、荷物をカバンに詰め、ヨーロッパに向かいました。
Because this program is a very famous program, and I was so happy to get in. In Japan, I think you have a famous footballer also who studied this program. Yasu Miyamoto, he was a former Japanese national footballer, and in Korea, Park Ji-sung also was part of this program. So I was very happy to get in because this program is very special. It's a one-year master program where, of course, you learn about sports management, but more importantly, in that 1 year, we get to meet with 200 over of the top sports companies and organizations, the directors, the managers from this company, which is very important for a sports career.
ちょっと長いんですけども、頑張って訳します。彼がいたこの、FIFA マスタープログラムというのは1年のプログラムなんですけども、そこで勉強してた人って、僕らも分かるような人だと、昔の日本のサッカーの代表の宮本恒康さんですとか、韓国のパク・チソンですね。そういった人もこのプログラムに参加しているっていうことで、すごく、有名なコースです。で、ここで、経験を積んで、次のキャリアに生かそうということで MBA プログラムに進まれたということですね。
Yes, so because of this program, in 1 year, it took us in 3 countries. The first 4 months in the UK, and then the next 4 months in Italy, and then the last 4 months in Switzerland. Because everywhere we went to, of course, we went to the university, but very important, we also visit and meet with all the key people in the top sports clubs and organizations. Like in UK, we met with Manchester United, Wimbledon, Twickenham. In Italy, we met with Juventus, AC Milan, as well as, Formula One. And in Switzerland, we met with FIFA and the International Olympic Committee. So very, very exciting and interesting.
この FIFA マスタープログラム1年のプログラムなんですが、4ヶ月間イギリス、4ヶ月間イタリア、そして最後にスイスに4ヶ月ということで、各地で、そのスポーツ界の要人、特にサッカー関連ですね、FIFA なので、例えば、ユベントスはイタリアだった、マンチェスターユナイテッドですとか、イタリアのユベントス、AC ミラン。で、スイスに来てからは、オリンピック委員会ですね。スイスに本拠地があるので、そういったところに行って、要人と話したり会ったりすることができるという素晴らしい面白いプログラムですね。
Yes. So yeah, I mean, we then that's why the 28 of us who graduated that year, because we met with so many companies, make such good network that all of us had good job in sport after. For me, I stayed on in Switzerland to work for an American consulting group called Burson, Kohn and Wolf to help the international sports federations do projects. Based in Lausanne, and I worked there for about 7 years doing this.
でそこでたくさんの要人と会った後に彼も就職というか、仕事に就くんですけれども、ローザンヌ、スイスにローザンヌという都市があって、そちらで働いていました。で、そこではもうアメリカのUS
It's a Burson, Kohn and Wolf is yeah, that is it's a sports consulting company. Yeah.
Okay. Please send it to chat later. So I couldn't hear you and I can't spell. すみません、スペルが難しそうなので、後で送ってもらいます。アメリカのスポーツ業界のコンサルティングの会社。で、7年間働いてたということですね。
Yes. But that was really my what I imagined to be my dream job, because I was working with UEFA, working with FIFA, working with IOC, working with international basketball, archery, all different sports, and traveling all around the world to do different projects, from bidding for Olympic Games to, working as advisor for the leadership of these organizations. And I also got to be involved in the Beijing Olympics then, as well as the FIFA World Cup in South Africa. So for me, it was a dream job, and I really, really enjoy my time there in Lausanne, Switzerland.
その会社では、さまざまなスポーツプロジェクトもFIFA を卒業してますけど、サッカー、UEFA だけではなくて、IOC、オリンピック委員会ですとか、アーチェリーとか、本当にさまざまなスポーツに関わり、そして北京オリンピックと、FIFA ワールドカップにも携わったり、コンサルティングをされたということですね。
Yeah. So finally, that was about 7 years there. And then, of course, during that time, I got married. I met my wife here in Switzerland. We have start to have kids, little children. And then the life as a busy consultant flying all over the world is not really works very well for family life. So I moved to EU Business School, which is where I am now. to do two things. One is to help them with the international marketing and partnerships in Asia Pacific. And at the same time, I also help them to promote and develop the sports management.
そうですね、すごく楽しくて充実した仕事だったんですけれども、スイスで、今の奥様と出会われ、そしてお子様も授かったということで、世界中を飛び回るような仕事というのは、もうやめた方がいいんじゃないかというふうな決断に至りまして、この今所属されている EU ビジネススクールに移られたと。でここでは2つ目的があって、1つは、そのアジアパシフィック、いわゆる日本を含むこのアジア圏ですねの、生徒のリクルーティングをするっていう、いわゆる会社側の理念というか、目的、そして自分自身はスポーツマネージメントという考え方を、世界中に広めたいみたいな形で、目的を持ってこの EU ビジネススクールに、入職されました。
And I've been at EU Business School for around 7-8 years also. So I've actually, since the time I did my master's, when I first came to Switzerland till now, it's already around 15 years. I've been in Switzerland for around 15 years already.
そうですね。先ほどのシンガポール、オーストラリアと、移動してスイスに来てから、いわゆる FIFA のマスターというコースを取られてからも含めると、約15年間、もうすでにスイスに住まわれているということですね。
So how is life in Switzerland and now specifically in Geneva? Well, I think it's a very interesting and exciting location and city to live in. First of all, 40% of the people here are international people like me. So you are in an environment where it's, you have people from all over the world, all 5 continents that are working and living together. And maybe that's why the United Nations is here, because it's a good representation of the world here.
そうですね、スイスを一言で言うと、とても興味深い面白い場所であるということなんですけども、スイスは移民が 40% なんですね。なので今回ケネスさんもシンガポールから移住されてますけども、もうそういった人ばっかりであると。はい、なので、いろんな文化に触れられて面白くて、でUN ですね、国連も本部がスイスにあったり、先ほどのオリンピック委員会とかもスイスにありますけども、こういったもう人種のるつぼ、さまざまな国の人が移住してくるような場所なので、そういった、世界的な機関が拠点を置きやすいんじゃないかということですね。
So for my kids who are growing up now, they are around 11 years old. It's a very nice and interesting environment for them to grow up with, because in their class they have people from all over the world. And because of the way and the language is here, they are in school, they learn in French, but they are also fluent in English, Chinese, and also now learning German as well. So it's a very, very interesting multi-language, multicultural environment to live in.
すごいですね。今8歳から11歳お子様がいらっしゃるんですけども、学校ではフランス語を話し、で同時に英語も、普通に話せるし、中国語も話せて、今はドイツ語を勉強しているということなんですね。No Italy?
Sorry?
No Italy.
No. Italian is the third most. There are 4 official languages in Switzerland, right? So there's German, there's French, there's Italian, and there's Romansh. They still don't have time to learn Italian. They learn the first 2 most important first, because here in Geneva, it's a French-speaking region. Then German is also very important, because 70% of the eastern side of Switzerland is German speaking. So right now, French and German and English and Chinese. But that's already a lot to learn.
Yeah. イタリア語、公用語が4つあって、フランス語、ドイツ語、イタリア語、ロマンシュ語というものなんですけども、やっぱりフランス語、ドイツ語の比重が非常に高いということで、あと英語と中国語もやってるんで、もうこれ以上はさすがに教えるわけにはいかない、ちょっといっぱいいっぱいだよねっていうことで、イタリア語はやっていないそうです。
Yeah, so just to share a little bit of photos, I've been talking a lot and showing flags, but some photos in Switzerland. This was when I first came to Switzerland with my class of FIFA master. If you can see, I'm somewhere in the middle, just a bit to the right. So that was our class, the 8th edition of the FIFA Master. That was how I started in Switzerland. And then, that American sports consulting firm, followed by EU Business School, and now happily married with 2 kids. You see that last summer we were just, there are 5 of us. I have 3 kids actually. Not just my 3rd kid is a golden retriever, the cute dog there you can see. So last summer, because of COVID, travel was not so easy. Normally during summer, I go back to Singapore to see my parents with my family, but it was not convenient last summer. So we stayed in Switzerland and went to my favorite mountain to do mountain climbing, which is Zermatt, Matterhorn. And I think there is a sister city of Japan. Many Japanese love Zermatt to travel there. To do hiking as well. I see even some statues and gardens with Japanese sister city. So I know there's a very strong link between Zermatt and Japan as well.
Okay. 写真をちょっと見せながらお話ししていきましょう。ちょっと話すばかりではちょっとつまらないのでということですね。で左側は、スイスに初めて来たとき、その FIFA マスターの時ですね。でアメリカのコンサルティング会社ですとかと楽しく勉強、仕事をしているような時の、同期の皆さん28人って先ほど確かおっしゃってましたかね。はい、数えられませんが、真ん中ぐらいに、彼もいます。で右の写真が、去年の夏ですね。実家に帰るっていうこと、シンガポールの実家に帰るっていうのも、毎年のようにやっていたけれども、去年はコロナで帰れなかったんで、スイスの国内で、ゆっくりしましょうと。でここが日本のたくさんの都市と姉妹都市関係を結んでいる場所ということだったんですけども、なんか日本庭園とか日本の建造物みたいなものも結構あるような場所だそうです。もう一度ちょっと都市名を聞いて、Sorry, the name of the city?
The mountain, Zermatt. Zermatt, yeah. And that mountain, the peak is the famous Matterhorn, where you see the chocolate, Toblerone. It's the famous peak. Yeah, it's one of the most famous mountain peaks that you can see.
Okay. でこのタブレロンっていう日本でも多分カルディとかそういったお店には置いてあるような気がするんですけども、三角形のチョコレートですね、あれのモデルがこの後ろにある山だそうです。でちょっと先ほど言い忘れましたけど、こちらがご家族との写真で、2人子供がいるっていうお話だったんですけど、いや実は3人目がいてっていうことで、このワンちゃんですね、可愛いですね。もう本当にハッピーな感じの写真ですごく嬉しいですね。はい。
Okay, so let me give you through a 60-second video, a short introduction about EU Business School, because it shows in a short video what EU Business School is about. And you see it's very international and it's very well connected with the business world. So I will not talk, I will show you this short video.
Okay. 60秒間のビデオ、僕が学校についてプレゼンテーションするよりもこっちの方がシンプルで分かりやすいと思うのでっていうことで、やってまいります。どうぞ。
So you will probably see from this video some things that I talked a lot about just now as well. At EU, it's very international. Students from more than 100 countries. It's English speaking, and there's also a very strong link for students, not just to study about business, but also through company visits, through guest speakers, a lot of interaction and learning from these companies and business leaders. So this is something that also the reason why I work for EU Business School, because I see it's a very effective way, like my experience in sports, that you don't just go to a place to study. That is important, but more important is to meet with the company or organizations or the industry, the network that you want to work for, so that you learn a lot, first of all, and secondly, you meet the people you can work with in future.
そうですね。EU ビジネススクールの60秒間の、ちょっとイメージビデオみたいなものだったんですけれども、簡単に補足をすると100カ国以上の学生が来るというところと、結構会社の名前、見たことあるような会社の名前が多かったと思うんですけども、ただ座学をするだけではなくて、いろんな会社に訪問したりしてこう、偉い人とこう話したりすると。で、これが大事で、座学で知識をつけるのも大事なんですけども、やはり仕事につなげていく上では、このネットワーキングですとか、そういったしっかり生で人に会うっていうことができる、そういったカリキュラムを提供しているということですね。
So that is why, EU Business School, we have campuses in Germany, Spain, and Switzerland. But today, since we talk about Switzerland, I talk about Geneva, because all our locations in the city that we are not in small town or village or second-tier cities, always in the top business city, because it's so important, like I say, that we don't just learn about business in the class, but that we meet and network and learn from all these companies that are around us.
そうですね。今回はスイスからケネスさんには来ていただいているんで、スイスのお話をするんですけど、EU ビジネススクールっていうのはスペイン・バルセロナとドイツ・ミュンヘンにもキャンパスがあります。これ、すべてビジネスのトップロケーションといいますか、最も経済的に盛り上がっている都市をすべて選んでいると。というのも、先ほどお伝えしたように、知識を得るだけではなくて、しっかりと会社の人と会って、なんですかね、生の情報を得たり、ネットワーキング、コネクションを作るっていうのも大事なので、しっかりと田舎町でただただ勉強するだけではなくて、都市部、トップシティ、すべてキャンパスを置いているということです。
So that is why when students are here, not only are they, studying whether it's a bachelor, master, or MBA, but also, very frequently we have company visits and guest speakers who students meet with. So these are some examples. From these major companies, we have most recently the co-founder of Starbucks, Zev Ziegler. We have the chairman of Nestle. We have the chairman of Ericsson. We also have the president of LVMH, the biggest luxury company brand, and Google. So amazing list of these business leaders, top business leaders, whom our students get to meet, to learn, and to be inspired from. So this for us is a very important part of our business education.
So they come to the class.
For these top leaders, they don't come into the class, but we have a major event in an auditorium. I will show you a short video after.
そうですね。この今、すごく有名なネスレですとか、ルイ・ヴィトン・モエ・ヘネシーですとか、そういったトップ企業の方も、この教育カリキュラムに参加されているということです。あとでセミナーとかそういうクラスには来ないんですけども、触れ合う機会があるということ、それは後でビデオで見せていただきます。
So during the pandemic, we did it over virtual conference last year. But before, and I think soon from next year, we will continue to do the major conference type. So I want to show you a video of the one that we had with the chairman of Nestle as an example of such an event.
I think there is a big revolution going on, and as you can clearly see, It is more the big corporations which are struggling, and it is the smaller and agile and the companies which are for the time being gaining. So it's an exciting time to be young and entrepreneurial and to make your own things. I think it's fantastic.
I think EU Business School has gone a step forward in terms of giving a platform for students like us in networking to global leaders. So this would be the best opportunity for every student.
It's very interesting. I get to meet so many different people here, so to build my network, so to speak. And this is what our school, EU Business School, is trying to push us to, which is really good.
Actually, I'm a lawyer and I want to be a corporate lawyer in a big firm. So Nestle, for example, it's an amazing firm.
Well, I think one of the great things about your university is that it's such an international environment that you have, which allows students from all over the world to mingle, to get to know each other, and to build up a resource and a base, which hopefully will also be of validity to them later on in their life.
Okay, so that basically gives you an idea of such an event, and we organize these events every few weeks so that students from all campus get to benefit from such to be inspired and to learn from these top business leaders. In fact, there's one happening today with the CEO of Manpower Group, which is the third biggest HR company in the world. So today there's one going on this afternoon.
今先ほどネスレの映像が社長の、講演会の、映像が出てたんですけれども、これが、月1ぐらいの、頻度で開催されているということで、本当に世界のトップリーダーが、来て、こういったイベントを開催しているということで素晴らしいですね。Again, sorry, the third big HR group.
Yeah, Manpower Group. Manpower Group. Maybe I send you in the chat later. That may help.
この後、this afternoon, right?
Yes, today.
はい。
I'm looking for the information for you now.
OK。今あちらは朝というかこれから昼なんですけども、午後には、世界で3番目に大きな HR、人事コンサルタントグループの、方の講演があるということです。
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, so that's how no matter which bachelor program that you take with us or master program that you do, you will have access to this type of companies, because our main goal is not just to help students to learn about business, but to connect and to be successful after students graduate. So that's why we have such an approach, and I truly believe in this because I went through the same process. You see, in sports, I never believed that from an engineer I can become a professional in international sport, but it was only possible because the master program I did was not about just studying and getting a degree, but about connecting with the sports industry, which I did in that 1 year. So that's why at EU Business School, I really believe in this philosophy and approach, because to be successful in career and work, this part of it is so important, not just to study and get a degree from famous university, but to meet and connect with the world and the world that you aim to work for. And that is a very effective way.
そうですね、ここでケネスさんの過去の、FIFA のアカデミーに行って、そこでたくさんのコネクションがあって、実際自分の夢見た仕事に就けたというところと、この EU ビジネススクールに移ってきて、今自分がやろうとしていることがすごくリンクしているっていうお話だったんですけれども、座学で、素晴らしい大学、なんですか、ネームバリューのある大学で勉強したからといって、キャリアに自分の働きたいところで働けるとは限らないと、こうやって働きたい会社のその偉い人と実際ダイレクトにつながったりっていうことで、その夢に一歩進んでいける、そういった環境がこの EU ビジネススクールでは作れているっていうところが、 自分のもう今やりがいを感じているところであるというお話でした。
Yeah. So I just typed in the name of the speaker and the company, CEO of Manpower Group. It's the third largest HR company in the world.
そうですね。マンパワーグループ、これ日本でもそういえばいましたね。日本だとブランドは何なんだろう。Maybe they are doing business in Japan too. Yeah, I found the link.
Yes, because they are an international company, not just you know in Europe or US. He is based in USA.
Okay.
Yeah, so he will be connecting online today. Yeah.
そうですね。
Yes.
アメリカの企業なんですけども、日本でもビジネスをしている、もう世界3位ですからね、めちゃくちゃでかい会社の CEO が来て、カンファレンスをするということです。はい。
Yeah. So at EU, we are so well connected that every year in Switzerland, in Geneva, when we have the graduation ceremony, the former president of Switzerland comes to the graduation ceremony. So that also shows how strong we are in terms of our connection here in Switzerland, not just with companies, but also with top people in government.
すごい。今度、スイスの元首相、United Nations, sorry.
Yeah, so also we have, like I say, you know, with United Nations, we also have workshop with the United Nations. We also have visits to the World Trade Organization. And every year in the International Labour Organization, we have a 3-day workshop on sustainability and development so that students also meet with, you know, the professionals in the United Nations agencies.
そうですね。もう国連とすごいコネクションがあって、要は企業と仲良くしているだけではなくて、いわゆるもうなんですかね、公的な機関ともすごくコネクションを持って3日間その国連に行ってワークショップをしたりですとか、さまざまな本当に充実したカリキュラムがあるというお話でしたね。はい。
Yeah, so just one final point about our programs. If you look at a bachelor and master also, you will see that not only are there the classic programs like, you know, MBA, international business, banking and finance, and international relations. We also have the latest in business innovation programs like digital business, blockchain management, cloud computing, because we believe in also providing programs and specializations that are not only just valid yesterday and today, but also valid today and tomorrow. So if you look at a lot of jobs, the trends, digital business is very important, digital marketing, blockchain, cloud computing also is becoming very important. So we are very updated and innovative in providing these new programs so that our students prepare themselves well and are ready to ride the next wave, you know, of the career. So this is also very important for us to have new and updated programs that are relevant to the industry.
学校というと、古典的なビジネスの理論とかを教えるような場所というようなイメージもあったりするんですけども、EU ビジネススクールでは、いわゆる IT ですとかテクノロジーのもう本当最先端のものですね。昨日、今日のビジネスではなくて、今日から明日へのビジネスということで、クラウドコンピューティングですとか、ブロックチェーン、などの、最先端の技術に関しても、しっかりと、なんですかね、勉強ができるような環境を整えているということですね。はい。で、あとは最後にメッセージをいただこうと思います。先ほどのように、仕事を辞めて海外に飛び出すというキャリアを思い描いた、実現させてきたケネスさんに、EU ビジネススクール来ればいいよっていう話以外で何か具体的なアドバイスをいただければと思いますので、聞いてみます。So, we are finishing the webinar. And at last, I would like to ask you about the career. So it's interesting and impressive that you changed your life after doing your ideal job, I mean the engineer, but you pursue the dream of working in a sports area. So how can I ask you, buddy, if anyone is has no confidence in changing their life, how do you tell them the advice or message to encourage?
When we were attending these, HR, because we do quite some webinars, and for Munich campus, that's where a lot of students also go to for good career move. We talk with HR experts, people who deal with so many people for their career and so on. And one of the things they say is that today, you need to be multi-skilled. Not just one skill or one discipline or major, and then you study all the way the same thing. That's not very valuable. Today, you need 2 or 3 different multiple disciplines. It could be technical engineering plus marketing and digital and entrepreneurship. So it's not strange at all. In fact, it's more valuable today to have, multiple skill sets when looking for your next career move. Of course, mine is very dramatic. One is engineering and one is sport. But not many things are so dramatic and so different. For example, like language and marketing. It's not far apart. So I think that's a bit old-fashioned way of thinking, where in the past, if you are learning English or teaching English, and you are English teacher for the rest of your life. Or if you're doing business, you're doing business for the rest of your life. Today, people are very accepting and open with people who come from different backgrounds. And as the HR experts tell us as well, in fact, they value people with multiple experience and multiple skill sets, because they then know that you are flexible, you are adaptable, and you also have a big open mind to think of things from different angles. So I don't know if this is something to encourage you or not, but I just want to share that this is the reality and this is the situation. So if you don't take advantage of it, then it's a bit of a pity.
Yes, I completely agree about it. 一つ言えるのはということで、EU ビジネススクールにはこの HR コンサルタント、就労支援みたいなシステムもあるので、それのエキスパートの方とかもよくおっしゃるのが、今の時代はやっぱりスキルセットを持つ、一つだけやってればいいとか、ずっとこの仕事続ければいいということではない。英語の先生だったらずっと英語の先生、仕事してればずっと仕事をしているだけではなくて、様々なバックグラウンドを持った人がいろんな仕事をするっていうのが非常に価値があるんじゃないかなと。で、なぜかというと、やっぱりこうやってよくブーカとかっても言われますけれども、非常に変化の大きな時代において変化に対応できない人っていうのはやっぱりちょっとね残念なところがあるので、いろんな仕事をしてきてバックグラウンドがいろいろあるなっていう人なんかは逆に何ですかね、一つのことをずっと突き詰められないっていうマイナス評価というよりかは、フレキシブルですごいオープンな人であるという、プラス評価になるような時代がすごく来てるんじゃないかなっていうことなので、なんていうんですかね、この仕事を途中で辞めて次のキャリアに行くっていうことをマイナスに考えずにどんどん冒険していって、その方がこれからの時代は価値が出てくるっていうようなメッセージ、これが、応援するメッセージになるかどうかはわからないけども、生きていく上での参考になればということで、ケネスさんから最後にメッセージをいただきました。
So I've just shared in the chat group as well when I mentioned just now about the webinar with talking with HR experts. So that was an event I think 3 months ago where we spoke with 2 HR experts in Germany about how to get a career in Munich, Germany. So I also provide the link in case you or anyone is interested to view that. It's very useful, especially if you're thinking about a career in Europe, like what you need to prepare, what is important to be successful, to make a transition, like Wataru said, to jump out from your old job or thing that you're used to into a new career. What do you need to prepare? Of course, you need to have the courage to do it, but you also need to have practical things that you should prepare, whether it's language, whether it's skill, whether it's your mindset and thinking, some things that you need to change and prepare as well. So that was a very good session.
これ今YouTube でリンクを送ってもらったのが、ドイツで働くにはどうしたらいいかということで、HR のエキスパート、人事のエキスパート2人が、それについて話してくれたということです。で、僕からもうなんですかね、勇気を持って飛び出そうみたいな話をしてしまったんですけど、その前にやっぱり前提条件で言葉が喋れるとかスキルを持ってるっていうのも大事なので、その辺をしっかりとお話ししてくれているっていうのがこの、ウェビナーですという